Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we explore the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Milan Kohut, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced, the lessons learned, and the strategies fueling future growth. Today, I'm absolutely thrilled to be joined by Henry Spencer Jr., who serves as Fire/EMS Lieutenant at Arlington County Fire Department, but also the owner and head coach at Battalion Strength LLC. Through Battalion Strength, he runs an online fitness offer where he's crafting personalized programs for powerlifting strength goals, general health, and weight loss, complete with tailored nutrition guidance based on clients' gym experience, location, and schedules. His hands-on coaching has driven rapid client gains, like boosting squats and securing top placements in powerlifting meets. With that being said, Henry, let me officially welcome you to Founders Future.
Thank you, Milan. I appreciate it.
It's good to have you, man. We're going to dive right into the conversation. And what I love to do at the beginning of each episode is a bit of traveling back in time. Real quick, before you even had your company, what were you doing before? And then eventually, what was the motivation for really starting the business?
And so just like you mentioned, I'm a firefighter. I've been a firefighter for 9 years now. I've been a lieutenant for almost two of those years, coming up on 2 years. So it all started where I was still firefighting. That's what I was doing. I always thought about coaching and trying to get into that because I do love the sport of powerlifting. I love helping people. That's why I became a firefighter. And so I was playing around with the idea, but like the opportunity never came up. I was like, I don't really know like if I really want to get into it, but we'll see, right? And so a friend of mine, he introduced me to her, and he told me that she was interested in powerlifting, wanted to do a meet, but had no clue of like where to go and what to do, how to train for anything. So initially, I was like, "Well, I'll do one with you, and that's how you have someone there with you. You don't feel like you're alone." She was like, "Okay, cool." But then, as I did more thinking about it, I was like, "Wait, this is the opportunity I've been looking for, right? To be able to train somebody, help them out, and give them what I didn't have when I first started powerlifting myself." So when I started powerlifting, it was, did a lot of YouTube. Instagram wasn't really what it is today, so just a lot of YouTube, a lot of reading forums, a lot of reading articles, trying to figure out what was what, how to train, when to train, what's going to go on at the meet. So I thought if I can avail myself to her and pretty much be like that coach to help her be able to basically grab her by the hand and just guide her to every step of the process, she'll have a better process and a better experience than I did when I first started into powerlifting. And the results of that, she went through a powerlifting meet. She had a wonderful time, and she's still doing powerlifting to this day. So once she got through her meet and I saw her last deadlift and I saw the sense of accomplishment that she had on her face, I was like, you know what, this is what I really want to do. I really want to dive into this, help people become stronger, help people find themselves, and help people become powerlifters.
Yeah, I don't think there is a better start to a coaching career than this, where you really have
Hmm.
an experience from somebody who you might know and really seeing the results and seeing the impact that you have on these people, right? So one thing that I wanted to clarify though, are you still balancing between doing your own business and also being a lieutenant?
Yes, sir. So I'm still a firefighter, still a firefighter, Arlington County Fire Department in Virginia, and I am also running Battalion Strength as the head
That's
coach.
impressive though. That's impressive. We're gonna dive into this later on, but
Yes, sir.
yeah, Henry, let's talk about this. What I love to do in this part of the podcast is really get the listeners close to understanding who it is exactly that you're trying to help within your battalion project, but also what are the core offers that you have basically created for these clients. So just go ahead and tell us all about it.
Okay, cool. So with Battalion Strength LLC is basically a company designed to help beginner powerlifters put 100 to 200 pounds on their total. When I talk about a total in powerlifting, that's the combination of your squat, bench, and deadlift. And so within my offers, I offer one-on-one coaching. So that includes structured powerlifting programming that is tailored to the individual. I don't believe in cookie cutter programs because cookie cutter programs are going to get cookie cutter results. You're paying for a premium service. I'm going to give you premium service. So a customized workout plan, you'll get weekly check-ins from me via a Loom video. So that's how no matter where you are in the world, what time you wake up, you can always get coaching from me. You send your videos into me via my app so that I can, again, give you better coaching. And then also within my app, you'll be able to have a picture description of the exercise, a video description of the exercise, and also a written description of the exercise so that you're able to know exactly what you want to do. And that's how, again, you can train no matter what day of the week it is, what time of day. I am still able to give you the appropriate coaching. I'm also help you out with powerlifting meet education because again, like I serve beginner powerlifters primarily, even though I do have some more experienced powerlifters in my roster as well. But they need to know exactly what to do, how to do it, what they need to buy, the rules and regulations, the step-by-step process of a powerlifting meet. And then also I do a meet day strategy where I lay out exactly how we're going to attack the day so that their nerves are calm. So the more you know about what's going to come up, the more calm you're going to be, the better you're going to be able to form on meet day. And then also I offer in-person and remote meet day handling. So I'm in the DC area. I have the majority of my folks are here in the DC area. So I'm able to be there at their meet and actually handle them, load and wait for them, tell them exactly how it's going to go. But I also had a chance to handle a lifter who's in Indiana, who obviously I'm not going to necessarily fly out there and get there her first meet. As much as I would like to, it just wasn't feasible. But I was able to watch the live stream that was going on, see exactly her lips, be in contact with her handler, who I gave my expectations of how I would do and how I would handle my lifters, and basically give them like the professional athlete treatment where all they have to do is worry about performing. They don't have to worry about lifting, or they don't have to worry about loading weights. They don't have to worry about food, anything else. You need to be that person for them because that's what I would do as their coach. And she was very, very successful as well. So that's pretty much my main offer. I do have 3 tiers. So two of my tiers are with weekly coaching. The other one is for monthly coaching.
Yeah, I
But
really
there's
like the
less
fact
touch
that
points.
this is really high touch though. And also with you mentioning that this is basically custom tailored to every single client, but also combined with the access to the app, there's constant feedback from you. So there is also like the material that the client can just revisit, go back to it and learn from it, right?
Mhm.
So that's pretty good. Now, when it comes to your industry, there's a lot of people who are basically trying to create something that from the business perspective is maybe a little bit more scalable than just like your one-on-one time. Because at the end of the day, there's only so many people that you can serve on a basis of one-on-one, right? So when you think about the future, would you say that you also plan on creating something in a group setting where you would maybe focus more on the educational side of things, but that way you can impact a lot more people at the same time? Or what is your perspective on this kind of business model?
So my perspective on that is like when it comes to powerlifting, like you kind of need that one-on-one coaching if you want to go far. So as far as with scaling is what I plan to do. Like I want to eventually get to the point where I have a cash of lifters and I'm able to have enough income to where I can go full time into coaching. I do have plans on hiring some assistant coaches. So now people who have competed in powerlifting and have a similar experience that I have a similar desire to do what I do, who I could coach them, develop them, help me
Mm.
with developing more and more lifters. I do have one other offer that I did fail to mention, where it's just like a 6 week program where people can kind of just come in. They don't get coaching, but they get the structure that they might be looking for. And after that 6 weeks is up, they get a spreadsheet. But if they want to stay on the app, they can stay on. They can stay on that as well. But I primarily just focus on just the one-on-one coaching offer. 'Cause that's why I enjoy to do. I like to be able to really take somebody from point A to point B and then helping them every step of the way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, when it comes to this, I also want to get your perspective on something else. I'm pretty sure there's going to be somebody listening to the podcast who is in a pretty similar position of really balancing between their 9 to 5 job and building a business on the side that might potentially become a full-time thing for them, which is the same situation for you. Now that you can look at it from the perspective of business owner, what is like the realistic timeline for you to really make this a full-time project for you? Or what is the vision that you have in mind?
So the vision I have in mind is that at least probably in the next year, not calendar year, but next like 12 months, get get my business to the point where it does replace my income, or it can replace my income, and then probably stay like one more year to make sure that it's consistent, that money coming in is consistent, and also being able to kind of double dip, build my funds up, being able to, build my savings up so that then when I do leave, I have enough savings for, when, as when business ebbs or flows, I can still be able to keep my head above water. So I'll still be
Absolutely.
running both business. I'll still be being a firefighter and also doing coaching at the same time for at least the next 1 to 2 years.
Most
Unless
definitely.
something really
Now,
pops off. We'll see.
maybe, who knows? But
Yeah, who
I mean,
knows?
listen, making this happen, one of the key factors of doing so and really succeeding with this kind of project is having a good client acquisition system in place, right? So I also want to touch on this back end side of the business and talk about what is it specifically that you do on the front of marketing and maybe specifically lead generation to make all of this happen and have the ability to onboard new clients into your programs and have a bigger impact as a company.
So content is the biggest thing. Instagram is up to what, 2 billion users. So there's a lot of opportunity out there for everybody. So just being able to have content out there that, and something that I have a business coach that helps me out to help me expedite where I am now. I wouldn't be where I am if it wasn't for him. So he has what's called like the ACE method. So attraction, converting, and then enrollment content. So attraction is just something that's going to get people in, something that's very, very short, very, very sweet, but also can give some value. Some of that may be like a funny little meme, but still centered around like powerlifting, since that's what I do. But then the other ones may be something very, very quick that still gives you some value, and then it points you down to the captions, you get even more value. Something quick, very, very digestible, so that you kind of see, okay, this guy maybe know what he's talking about. The converting aspect of it is me actually teaching you something, and like maybe like a 60 second to 90 second, sometimes even 2 minute video or a reel where I'm actually walking you step by step as far as like a certain exercise, or here's some different cues that you can use, so that now you're seeing how I am as a coach. And so you say, oh, this guy actually knows his stuff. And then you actually can visualize me coaching you. Then the enrollment is just me showing kind of my journey, my client's journey, their wins, their story, how I've been able to help them get from point A to point B. So now people saying, okay, this guy had brought me in with this content. He seemed like he knows what he's doing, and he's getting the results I want. Okay, I want to buy. But also I do everything on my own. I'm a one man band as of now. In the future, I plan on kind of getting a sales team, VAs, all that. But reaching out to everyone who interacts with my content, whether it's like, a comment, a share, a repost, a follow, whatever it is, I'm reaching out to them, thanking them for what they are, for what they did, and then also trying to just see where they are, whether they're here for the content and they're just entertained by it and they like it, or if they're looking for something bigger.
Yeah,
Um,
you just successfully answered my next question that I didn't even get to ask. But, considering a couple of minutes ago, you basically mentioned that when you think about scalability, you can imagine yourself hiring other coaches working under you to really help and assist with the coaching process. So this would be happening on the fulfillment side of the business, right? So you're basically saying that in the future, one of your goals is really be specific with your teams on all departments and all different fronts, whether that's marketing, sales, other departments as well, right? This is the idea generally.
mhm.
Beautiful. Now, when you think about the structure of the audience that you work with, would you prefer to work mainly on virtual coaching, or is the plan to go maybe more into the in-person training?
Solely virtual, solely
Solely
virtual.
virtual.
Yes, with
Yeah.
virtual, I'm able to help way more people, and I'm not limited to just my area. So like I said before, like I have lifters who are in this area. I've had clients who've been in Texas. I have a client in Idaho. I have a client in Indiana. I'm talking to some more potential clients where like they're like in Germany right now. I've talked to folks in England. So like, I'm not limited by who I can serve. So I'm able to help a lot more people, and that net is can be cast a lot wider. But also with in-person coaching, you're trading time for money.
Hmm.
Whereas like, okay, in order for you to get this money, you have to spend X amount of time in at that gym. And then not everyone's going to be able to go to the gym. So you go to your gym or whatever gym you're looking for. You may have to jump from place to place, whatever the case is. You're trying to really cast that wide net. And then you're losing time not only with that individual, but you're also losing time just driving from place to place to place to place. Whereas with online coaching, I'm able to help a lot more people, have a lot more time for myself, which is what I want. I want that financial freedom, also a little bit of time freedom as well. But also, I'm also able to help people at a lower price point than an in-person trainer. In-person trainers could be $100 per session, and you get 4 sessions in a month. That's $400 a month just for someone who comes in and is pretty much is your workout buddy. Keep going, you can do it. Lift harder. Someone who loads your weights for you. Where you have me who craft the entire program for you, constantly give you coaching, and you got not getting coaching just like on one day, you're getting it throughout the entire week, throughout the entire month.
Yeah.
And you're
Yeah.
and you're constantly in contact with me as well. So anytime you have a question like, hey coach, what about ABCXYZ, I'm able to contact you within 24 hours and give you a solution, or I'll make a video or something that will be able to help you out.
Absolutely. The reason why I wanted to get a little bit more clarity on this is the fact that when it comes to your industry and several different offers that are similar to what you do, you're taking a little bit of a different angle towards the offer. And at the beginning of the podcast, you mentioned that there are some clients where you can actually physically support them on the meets and be there for them, right? Which
Mhm.
is kind of unique. So I just wanted to see if you feel like this is a part of what you want to do also in the future, or just create something that is more like evergreen and you know that you're not going to be not going to have to travel and be a part of those meets. What is your idea specifically on this?
Yes, I do want to be a part of the meet, especially like for the first meet. I actually do want to be there and be able to handle them. Again, that's like
Hmm.
once or twice a year per client that I'm going to be there if they're in the area. So that's not something that I feel like is taken away from the business. It's something that really like I enjoy. I want to do that. Like I want to give someone that whole entire experience. Like honestly, if I can go to where my more remote lifters are, I would, because again,
Hmm.
especially for their first meet, I want it to be me there. Like I don't want it to be just a step in, either me or someone who I already know personally, who I know can do a very good job. I don't like to have to outsource it to like their friends. I have to give them my standards, my expectations, because some things get lost in the weeds, especially if that person isn't familiar with powerlifting at all. But yeah, that's not something I plan on giving up. I do want to keep that. Again, it's a very small part of my time
Hmm.
overall.
Yeah, I like that better much, actually. Beautiful. Henry, you already gave us a little sneak peek in terms of what the future holds for you and the company, but let's talk a little bit deeper into the vision. And more specifically, when you think about the short-term goals, like the next 12 months, what would you say are those biggest targets for you, the goals, revenue, milestones that you've set for yourself?
So the biggest the biggest goal as far as revenue would be $1,333. That would get me up to a 100K month or 100K year. So getting to that point and then being able to sustain it long term, that's really the biggest goal, because that'll be one of the markers where just like, okay, now we can look at scaling back my full-time job and possibly even leaving my full-time job, building a cache of lifters, getting up to 30 lifters so I could think I can manage on my own, and then start going into getting setters, because with 30 lifters, I'm really going to need to be focusing on that and not so much focusing on coaching itself. Getting someone pretty much I have in mind a done for you service when it comes to social media, where I give them my offer. I give them exactly what I'm looking for. They make a script, they send it to me, and all I have to do is sit down, record, and I'm done. Send it back to them, and they edit. So that's again more time that I can have for myself. It's really just once I get to a point where I have a decent cache of lifters, it's about buying back my time.
Yeah, just
Like
being
what
effective with your time and schedule. Yeah, would
exactly.
agree.
Once I get to
100%.
100K or approach 100K, that's where it's like, okay, now I need to buy back my time and start outsourcing things. The more things I can outsource, the better off I'll be. So like closers, VAs, social media folks, editors, and then start expanding into YouTube as well. So I have a
Mhm.
little bit of YouTube, but I would like to get more into that as well. People like short content on Instagram, but long-term content more so they digest that better on YouTube. So different
Yeah.
platforms, different things. Again, I'm trying to create an omnipresence when it comes to social media. So no matter where you go, you want to see me. You want to go to YouTube, you want to go to Facebook, you want to go to Instagram, you want to go to TikTok, you want to go to LinkedIn, sure. You want to go to Reddit? I'm on Reddit too. Like I'm everywhere. So like you will be able to see my face where I am. So I want to run this business as an actual business person instead of
Yeah.
like a powerlifting coach. I think in the powerlifting space we're getting better when it comes to the business side of it, but general fitness influencers are way ahead of the business aspect as opposed to like powerlifting coaches. And I'm trying to take what they have and utilize that to really be to run my business as a corporation or as a company, and not
Smart.
just like, hey, this is like a side business. So everything needs to be polished and professional.
Well, Henry, you got me inspired, 100%. So I think this successfully wraps up another insightful episode of Founders Future. So I want to say thank you, man, for taking the time sharing this story with the audience and with me as well. And if anybody from the listeners wanted to reach out, get in touch, maybe even work with you one day, what is the best way to go about that?
Yes, sir. So the best way to work with me is just to send me a DM on Instagram. So my Instagram handle is coach.henry underscore. So COACH dot Henry HENRY underscore. Send me a DM there and we can see if we're a good fit, see if I can help you and how I can help you out, and go from there and get you the strength gains you've been looking for.
Beautiful.
And the fastest time you've ever probably had it.
Absolutely. Thank you again, man. Great conversation. Now, listeners, if today's conversation inspired you as well, make sure to subscribe to Founders Future on your favorite platform. And also, if you're a business owner, more specifically a consultant or a coach, or you have an agency, and you're trying to scale the business and really enhance both your sales and marketing efforts, also visit closures.io, get in touch with our team, and discover how exactly we scaled our company from 0 to over 30 million per year in less than 3 years. Until then, keep on crushing it, and I'll see you on the next one.